Hey guys, welcome to Coaching with Chris, where we're talking about all cool things LO. We got special guests, always bringing it in to give you great knowledge to be able to put into your business. So whether you're even in the mortgage business or I've met some other people in some other areas that are tuning in, welcome. And please do me the favor. The greatest compliment you could ever get me is share Coaching with Chris to get others to be able to link and join in, because that's what we're about. Guys, today I get to bring in some of my favorites, LOs that work for me, that have worked for me for a very long time, got really cool stories. But we're going to talk about a little bit of their story. We're going to talk about some tips and tricks that we're doing today to get business right away as we're finishing up into the third quarter. So guys, are you here?
Absolutely.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Ennis, make sure you stay closer to your microphone so I can hear you good for your audio. You're a little echoish, just so you know. But anyways, Jeremy out of this group, Jeremy's worked for me the longest. Jeremy is that kid that grew up selling with his mom, but also one of the favorite things was an athlete. I should say was, because I don't know if you've played a lot of sports lately besides maybe volleyball or golf. I'm not sure. We'll have to talk about that. But fullback, great college career, and got in and got an introduction and got into the mortgage business. But Jeremy, is your story the same as most of us? Did mortgage find you, or did you find mortgage?
No, great question. It's always kind of crazy how I do feel like sports and mortgage definitely intertwined in my life. Blew out my knee, got a job at banking, and then that led me to a job doing home loan modifications, which led me to you, Chris.
That's how it worked?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, when you look at having a path and looking back at it, like you're all excited for a football career, and it's like weird where you got those blessings in disguise where, I was really sad I hurt my knee that year, but looking back at the path and how it's brought me to doing home loans, like without that one little thing, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today.
Oh, what? And you've had an amazing career in growing your career. You started underneath, which is my favorite way. You started underneath another LO, and he mentored you through. He was tough to work for, but that was a great mentoring ship, and I felt like it molded you the start of your career. And then how many years have you been with us year to date? How many years has it been?
Yeah, I always like to round up when I tell anybody. It really makes it sound more official. So I always say going on 11 years, Chris. It's been a fantastic decade. Started the day after my birthday, so it's always easy to remember. But I'll tell you, like you said, like a decade and a banker job ago, I was once an athlete. So it's just crazy how time is flown, and it's really been definitely a gratifying career here.
And just to clarify, you could say that, but after I said that, I thought, would you want to line up in front of Jeremy Huber? And the answer is, I would not. I would not want that. I want to be the water boy when you're out there. Whatever I can get you, Mr. Huber.
Oh, I was just at a volunteer event, and like it was for kids, and a little guy, he's probably 11 years old. He came up to me to get a water, and he asked me how many tackles I had this year.
He did?
Yeah.
So you still got it. You still look young.
Still got
it. Cool. So second in line would be Bella. And Bella, tell us about how you started in your career here at Plains.
Well, mortgage definitely found me. I was an accountant for the Circle K gas stations out of Arizona. And my older sister actually worked for the bank. And she told me that I needed to apply for a job here if I was going to be moving back. And that's what I did. So I got to interview directly with Chris, and then I sat with a couple of employees that aren't with the bank. Well, Preston's still with the bank. But I sat with them for like an hour or so, learning what they did, even on my interview day, and got my job within an hour of leaving the bank, which I flew home to Arizona and quit my job, and I started here 2 weeks later. So it was a very fast-paced move, but I started as a temp on the disclosure desk and quit my job with Plains within about a month of working here. I left Chris for $1. I'm sure many of you have heard that story before. I walked out on a Friday, and by Monday I was back here working for my $1 extra because Chris told me that he saw some potential in me, and I've never questioned leaving ever again.
Well, actually, Bella taught me the biggest lesson is she goes, well, you never told me. And I go, you're right. There's a lesson learned in there that I'll never forget from that. So then, Bella, you worked through your career and you started, you've been an originator for how long now?
Close to 4 years now.
Okay. It's been 4 years. You've been originating loans for 4 years.
Yep. I've been with the bank for 6, a little over 6 now, and originating for 4, full-time for 3 though.
And if you had to guess, at the end of the year, where do you think you'll end up? What's the goal to end up in total originations for the year?
The total goal is to help more than 100 families, but volume goal is 32 million.
Okay, 32 million. Cool. That'll be awesome. That'll be a great year. And NS, like when we started talking to Steve, I'm like, we're hiring the guy. He just doesn't know it yet. And that was like the first start into that deal, and Brian and I. But you've been doing loans for a long time, way before me, before you worked for Plains Commerce. Tell us your little journey into mortgage and then your journey into Plains.
I found mortgage. So the other two, mortgage found them. I found mortgage. Out of college, I was doing securities in Minneapolis, and so stocks, bonds, mutual funds. And I was watching all my teammates making the real money.
Oh,
I was hustling hard, and I grew up in a small town, and I happened to know a lot more people that needed money than had money. And as I started my family, I need to follow the money. So got into mortgage, and it was 2004 or 2005. So yeah.
And then you moved. You changed markets when?
2015.
So changed markets, had to start. You felt like you started all over, or did you continue to work both markets?
Started over.
Started over. Hard?
Yeah, honestly, it's the hardest thing you can do. You have contractual reasons for the first year, and as you drift apart, and I found that there are a lot of institutions in our market that have a retail focus of just doing local market only. And so it just became something that I stayed with to stay away from the old market. And ironically, that was one of the primary drivers to me contacting Chris to find out, hey, would I be a good fit in your stable?
So you've been here a year?
Coming up on a year and a half.
Yep. And what was that transition like?
Drinking off the fire hydrant. What you have is what I knew I always needed, and that's accountability. So you got leadership from up front, but it's also accountability to back it up, and those are two key ingredients to success.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's get into loan officer stuff right now. I mean, we're coming into the end of the third quarter, approaching the fourth. Rates have come down a little bit. I'll let anyone kind of start it off. What's working right now to be able to generate more business?
Just simply picking up the phone and calling. I mean, I think it's always like the simple model's best is like, you got to get a hold of people, got to ask the right questions, and just got to contact everybody. And if you're not getting business, I always feel like more calls is better than less calls. And like, I got together with a realtor last week and called a list of FHA customers, and those guys had been there 3 to 5 years, and we were able to ask them how long they're going to stay in their house, where if she could help them sell their house, if they wanted to move, then she could help them. But also if they wanted to stay in their home and plan to be there, I was able to talk to them about refinancing, dropping mortgage insurance.
So, just to dive into the details of that, you were calling with a realtor. Were you calling your list or her list?
I brought the list on this one. So we were we actually got kind of just a generic list. It wasn't even our clients. That was going to be our next step, but we actually had so many good conversations, we didn't get to the next one. So we're going to schedule another dial night.
So how long is the dial night?
So that one was an hour. We started at 4:30, and honestly, the contact rate significantly increased after 5 o'clock. So I would definitely make sure to time it right as well if you can catch people on the drive home. But with, a lot of them got sent to voicemail. A lot of them got sent to voicemail. And throughout the years, Chris, you've taught us different tactics. I kind of use the sense of urgency. Hey, this is Jeremy Huber with the bank. Give me a call back. And I'll tell you what, that gal called back 4 times. That was the best conversation. She wanted to drop mortgage insurance, and it was really an easy transition because I said, hey, I was trying to get a hold of you because your name popped up. You have that mortgage insurance yet? And it's been, in her case, 4 years that she was at the house. And I just explained to her, we want to drop that if we can and save you money.
Right. I mean, you think about this math, right? 4 years, 5% average appreciation. That's 20%. She should be able to get out. And you have a buffer of the 3.5% on the FHA loan. So you got a really good shot. Now, she possibly could have a lower rate. Okay. And will you be able to make it up and getting out of MI with a little bit higher rate?
Yep. And that's where we went over everything. Like, she's kind of like foot in the door, foot out the door. I was able to get her all the numbers. She took my contact information. And now in my mind, I become her guy because I'm the last person to touch base. Like, even if the business isn't there at that point, then and now, we talk about planting seeds and being a farmer. That will come back to me. She very engaged conversation. And when she decides to move or we decide to refinance her, we'll do that. And since the business wasn't then and there right now, put it on my Outlook calendar to follow up with her. I think that was 3 months out to contact her again with that phone number.
So just to review before we go on to Steve and Bella is you called for an hour. You realized you should have started a half an hour later. Yep. So you should have started at 5 to 6 instead of 4:30 to 5:30. How many dial outs and how many calls or callbacks did you end up getting to talk to? And was there any fruit that you got deals out of just only an hour?
So like that was truly kind of the best conversation. So it was about 35 phone calls, and like I, lack of better words, just being straightforward, had people not show up. Like I've had 3 different dial nights like scheduled. So like, and a lot of it came out of not having lists, not having it there. So I was really business driven, like, and I always kind of gamify it a little bit where it's like, I always want the phone to be ringing. So if I'm calling, that person's putting the next number in their phone, then they're calling. We talked to probably 7 people, had 2 callbacks throughout the week with leaving different voicemails. And we kind of testing different things to just get them to call back because quite frankly, like, I should have gone back a little bit further on the list because those guys, a lot of them were 2020, 21, lower rates. So even dropping PMI wasn't going to move the needle enough. But like the calls again were the point, and I just wanted to get something rolling. And now we're going to get that next call session. We're going to fail forward, if I could put it that way, and then do an even better list at a better time next time.
Bella, what's one thing you're doing to drive in more business?
I'd say kind of along the lines of what Jeremy mentioned is just getting in front of people. I can admit that I am not super strong on the phone. That is not where my sales tactics work best. I'd rather be face-to-face, making a relationship, and whether that's straight up asking you for business or it leading to that conversation of business, that's how I like to handle things. So just getting out of the office, especially as we're winding down into fall and winter months, it's not as fun to leave the office then. I'd rather sit behind my computer screen. So I do that a lot during the summertime. But yeah, just we're planning our Q3 business to business mixer, which comes up at the end of this month. And then just getting out there and meeting for coffees or lunches, or even sometimes some realtors, I'll meet them for a workout. I'd rather do that and just chit chat in between things a little bit and then see if they want to catch up afterwards too.
What about the business mixer? Tell us about that. Is that something that you and Don do together, or how's that work?
That one is actually just me. Don doesn't help with that one, like some of our normal big events, but I partnered with a real estate agent and then also another. She's a business owner, but she is like a jack of all trades. She does something in medical. She runs a magazine. Like she does a lot of family stuff. But the three of us got together to just kind of take things out of the transactional phase that came from the COVID years of not wanting to be face to face and in person. And we are getting businesses together in one place where you can network, make new connections. If it's just making friends, it's finding people you need personally. I make a lot of connections that I can then refer my clients to, which helps me twofold. And sometimes there's other agents there, sometimes there's other loan officers, but it's great to know people in the industry too.
And how many people usually show up, and what kind of location and then budget does it cost you?
Our first one cost us like $150 because we did like snacks and things like that, which ended up not a lot of people ended up wanting those. You know, they're just more so they need something in their hand just to keep a conversation going. They don't end up eating anything. So our budget is actually very, very minimal. Now that we've gotten it going, our first one was the most expensive, but we don't have to spend anything on our Q3 or our Q4. The location is donated. The drinks have been donated every time. We do a book giveaway, always donated. We normally
How do you get the donations?
People typically approach us because it is a bigger event. Our first event had 60 people at it. Our second one probably close to 80 or 100.
Wow.
And we anticipate this one to be a little bit bigger because now like friends of friends of friends are asking to join. And we do limit the invitations we send out just because the places that host us are, you know, their max capacity is 150 to 200 and we don't want to overwhelm with it being too loud or too hot to have good conversation.
So you have a good event, you get the drink sponsored, and you get a book sponsored.
Yep. And we've tested different times of day. Like our first one was like a 4:30 to 6:30. Our second one was more so like a 10:30 to 11:30. This next one more so happy hour after school starts. So I feel like we get a different crowd at every one of them. But it's nice to also switch up what we bring in. Like our last one, 10:30 to 12:30 was coffee. And this next one's a happy hour. So it's at a brewing company, which again, they sponsored, and the place and the people that purchased, another sponsor purchased the drinks, but $1 of every one of those drinks also goes to a nonprofit. So we help in a lot of different ways than just featuring the businesses that help sponsor us.
Plus you're featuring a business is the reason why they sponsored them. Oh,
Yep.
that's cool. That's even cooler than I thought. Just a venue. You're doing it at a place of business.
Yeah. And we always try to give back in some way other than just the books. We want to expand your mind. We want you to make new connections. At our last one, we did free headshots, which I don't know, every real estate agent, every mortgage banker, the headshot's always 5 to 10 years older. When you meet them in person, you're like, you aren't who you
5 would be generous.
Yeah. Yep. So that one was headshots. Again, we'll have events and event coordinators and photos and things taken on this one. Our next Q4 one, we're bringing in a speaker for end of year planning, which is you. So,
oh, it is?
Yeah. You said thanks. You said you would at one point, but.
Okay, cool. Exciting.
Yeah.
Steve, what are you doing to drive in business? I know you work multiple markets, and you've done a really cool job of breaking into an ethnic background that has just been referral hot for you. Tell us what you're up to.
Yeah, about a third of my business comes from East African refugees that are here in Sioux Falls. And so our market is home to one of the largest tribes outside of Africa in the entire world. So that's, you know, we probably number 10, 12,000 locally. So there's a big supply of people in that community. And so that's one piece. And thanks for touching on that, Chris. It gives an opportunity to provide a lot of internal bank referrals. I see the opportunity to frankly teach money, teach banking, set up the app on the phone, get direct deposit in, set up automatic payment, talk about the concept of goal saving. And then also it gives me the opportunity to be a part of a lot of external referrals. So getting them into insurance agents, financial advisors, realtors. So that's one piece. And then the other one would be like the second home focus. I'm at an age demographic where my oldest is a freshman in college. So a lot of my parent friends are looking at that vacation property or maybe a vacation rental or wanting business capital, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if we can get into the money part of it, I think ultimately mortgage can more often become the solution.
Yeah. What tactic could you give an LO today that would help them generate more business?
Well, outside of just sheer contact, right? Because that's the number one theme between the three of us is that we're in front of people. The more conversations we have, the more leads we can create. But I think it's just the leads that you're in front of, don't wing it. Have a plan with every customer appointment. And for me, I love getting the bank statement, which might be a little goofy, but I really analyze cash flow trends in bank statements, and I understand a lot about the behavioral economics with each person. When I see a bank statement, I can understand who they are and how they fight themselves, and that's where I try to help fix some broken habits.
Wait a minute now. You're an LO and you actually look at the bank statement?
Absolutely.
You're one of the first I've ever heard say that. So you're looking at a bank statement and you're looking for good and bad habits. Yep. And then at one of your meetings, you're giving suggestions.
Yeah. So what I want to understand is what is the timing of revenue? Are they paid monthly? Are they paid weekly? Because that can dictate how maybe credit is used with credit cards. And I try to trend what's the revenue coming in and what are the expenses going out, and that help them understand why they're not able to save, or maybe give them suggestions on how to restructure.
So Joe, I know Joe. Hey Joe, I'm setting up a first-time home buyer with the South Sudanese community in Omaha area. I will work with Ethan and Levi. Love that Steve is doing something similar. Any suggestions in him setting that first-time home buyer class up that would help him in that?
That's number one, Joe. That's amazing. I think what I've tried to do, and I'm probably 7 or 8 years into this, I'm trying to identify who are the most influential, maybe as a way to characterize it, people within the community, and then just build that relationship. And so my first priority is I want those people to bank with us personally. I want to introduce them to my.
So you're working on not just mortgage, you're helping them in other areas. So having Joe have a couple different people there in his network to be able to have there would add value to this class.
Incredible. I wouldn't be able to help this community and get it organized without managing their money. And so I have rock star bankers that work with me at Plains Commerce Bank, and they do an incredible job of just teaching the everyday basics of banking. And so that's what I'm trying to do, because I feel like I am so much more valuable to the community when I can help them with everyday money and not just a once every 7 to 10 years with a home loan.
I think us mortgage originators get put in that thought process. And I love it that even if you work for just a mortgage company, you own a mortgage company, partner up with a bank so you can be able to offer both. I mean, Steve doesn't get anything by bringing in deposits, but it's good for him when he does, because then they think of him for mortgage. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Cool. So for you guys, Jeremy, let's start with you. For newer loan officers, what would you say you wished you would have done differently when you first started out as an originator?
So yeah, I stepped out of doing home loan modifications directly into being a loan officer, and that's where I kind of look at Bella's like path of being what we call a loan partner first. So I would have probably been a loan partner first because you really learn mortgage. I was here, I think 7 to 7 most days because I never wanted to mess up alone. I still had a great structure where I was a junior under a senior. So I don't feel like I missed out on a lot of deals because I always had that hierarchy of knowledge to ask those questions to. But I do think there's like something to getting your hands on so many files, getting in there, setting everything up, and being exposed to someone else's just the workload because you learn from repetition. So I'd have been a loan partner to start out.
Yeah. Bella, what would it be on the realtor category and starting to build relationships with realtors, which is the first tactic of an originator when they first start? What's something that maybe would go underneath that same question that you felt like you did it one way, but then you learned along the way that you would have done differently?
You don't have to be perfect. Literally, don't be scared to walk in there and say, I don't know the answers to your questions, but at least I know someone who does, or I know how to find out. That was my biggest thing, is I was so paralyzed for so long that I didn't know every loan product. I didn't know every in and out of every loan program yet. So I was scared to step out of the office and present myself as someone who did know the answers to all their questions. But when I finally did, like, they're human on the other side too. They don't know all those answers, and they come to you because they're looking for the next best resource. And if you weren't that specific one, at least you know how to connect them to it. So just don't be scared to be imperfect. You're human.
Jeremy, how did you build your realtor list?
Yeah. So I wasn't scared. That's where it was tough for me to answer that question because I feel like I did a lot of things right. I always think you should use your newness. And when you're new, I think you should meet with everybody. I mean, still to this day, over 10 years later, I am receiving business from those meetings. I called it realtor dating. I remember the one gal just laughing.
Realtor, you called it realtor dating?
Yeah, yep. Nancy Hop, she keeps laughing at me. But what I did when I started to build realtor relationships, I mean, my first week I was told, get out of the office. That was great advice. Like I wanted to learn everything, like I just said. But I went kayaking, I went beer drinking, and I went golfing. I came back with 3 purchase agreements that next week, and I wanted to say, see you, I'm going to go have more fun. And then they said, hey, no, now we got to close these. But that's where I think you should use your own personality. You should be you.
Mm-hmm.
You should meet with as many people as possible so you find the ones that you connect with. Face to face is super important. We have a greatness tracker that we go off of. If you follow that, that's where I always think keep it simple. If you do that and you're true to it, which is hard, it's hard to complete that all on your own. But if you're true to that and you do all those things, you should be tired at the end of the week and you should be receiving business.
Yeah. And it's, for you, what is one piece of the accountability that you think every loan officer should have, or a particular area for them to be able to accomplish their goals or dreams?
I think, one of the things that if I look back in my notebook from the very first, weeks or month of being here at Plains and being coached by you, Chris, it'd be understanding the specific metrics of, for if my target is to have 8 to 10 closings per month.
Oh,
you know what I mean? I would say like
how many leads you need?
Yeah, I would say that's a big piece of it. Is we can, I had a week last week where, it was one application led to one deal, which led to one lock, right? And it can be fool's gold when you are hot that way and everything lines up, right? But it's the law of large numbers that applies to our profession. I think that's the accountability metric is being consistent every week. How important that is to maintaining consistent months and consistent years.
Yeah. Bella, what was a bad habit that you got during COVID that you wish you wouldn't have got that took you a while to get out of?
I'm still fighting my way out of it. I text way more than I get on the phone. I'm also a millennial, so I feel like some conversations are just easier to quick fire off a text than it is to pick up the phone and call.
Which is good.
Yeah, and a lot of my clientele also does lean into texting more than phone calls, but that conversation over the phone is what people remember because you can make them feel over the phone as opposed to texting. So I'm still trying to force myself to dial more every week than just firing off my quick text messages.
I feel like Shalice would fight to the end of the world before she had to pick up the phone. She would either text or try to look up the information, or like a reservation should go online. I'm like, just call them, just call them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, let me see if there's any spots. And so we would get in this discussion and I'm like, just pick up the phone. And she just continues to want to be able to do that. How about you, Ennis? Do you have a bad habit that you picked up in COVID?
Oh boy, I would say it probably working too much. I think that's a kind of a hangover effect that we have in the industry. I was talking to friends over the weekend, and they were talking about all the things they did during the pandemic, how great it was. Wow, we used to watch this artist, record a video of music, and it was so awesome. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, I never had time to do anything. We were hustling so hard, those couple of years that I think a lot of us forgot to live.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy, did you pick up any bad habits in COVID?
Absolutely.
Give me one.
So I was really good at setting my schedule, setting up my meetings, putting everything, specifically lunch. I feel like if you're not having lunch with a business referral partner, you're failing. That was my mindset back in the day. And then after COVID, I figured out that you could walk across the street and there's Hy-Vee Chinese for $5 to $7, depending on what year it is. And I feel like that's really taken away from my business because I enjoy those times sitting down with people, and it's just so much better when you structure it. Like, my thought was always, I don't care about Jeremy tomorrow and how busy he is. I am going to book his schedule so full on Mondays that he's going to be running from one thing to the next. And somehow after COVID, I got away from that, and I got to absolutely get back to it.
Well, we just got done doing a contest, and actually Bella beat Steve. Steve, how you doing on that? Are you okay?
I'm proud of her.
Okay, he's going to give her gratitude. And we did the video challenge, and the video challenge seemed to be hard. Talk about the video challenge, one, and then talk about the challenge in the video. Did either one of you three make it all the way through?
Me and Jeremy did.
Okay. So you two made it all through. So tell everyone, what is the video challenge, first of all, and tell us about how did you make it all the way through? Because it's tough to do one video for 30 days straight.
Yeah, I can start this one.
Okay.
The video contest itself was an add-on to our other contest, but it was the entire month of August. You had to do a video every business day. And 50% had to be going to some form of social media, and 50% could be like one-on-ones type videos. I would say the key to success is planning ahead. We're given a week notice of when it was going to start. So I sat down right away and I figured out what was my tactic on getting my videos put together for social media, because I didn't want them to be like bebopping all over the place. I wanted them to be kind of consistent and have a theme to them, which was nice because it gave me something to do. But planning that in advance made it way easier than to fill the other days with like one-on-ones of, hey, congrats, you're under contract. Hey, congratulations, you're pre-qualified. Here's a couple homes that I think you'll like, or I'm going in an open house this weekend, come see me. Like, those were super easy, but only because I had pre-planned everything else, which took the stress out of the remainder of the week.
What was the fruit? Was there any fruit by you doing video, or were you just making me happy?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Sometimes it felt like I was checking a box, but the ones that I did put more effort into definitely had stuff come out of them. I ran a mini series on my Facebook page, which was just like either home buyer questions or future homeowners, like first time home buyer type questions. And they ran about 2 minutes long, but quite a few views that watched all the way through. And the ones that were are either clients that I've helped before or friends of clients I've helped before. So I know that they're coming around because they don't like my page personally right now, but my page is reaching friends of friends. So that means that it's working.
Right. That's cool. How about you, Jeremy?
So I thought the video challenge was easier this time, and I'm not trying to toot your own horn here, Chris.
Okay.
But literally throughout coaching, I have a page where I do video ideas, and I've been building that up. So each of your coaching that you do, like it just triggers thoughts. And if you think of something that would be a good video, I didn't even get through all of them actually. So props to you and all the coaching that we do. Like that literally helped me through the challenge because I had a preset list of ideas from last time when we did it and you booted me out, or Brian booted me out. So I was like, okay, I'm making it this time. So that
what do you mean? What'd we do?
It booted me out. Snapchat didn't count, you guys said. So
you got booted out of the contest.
Yep. So I came back with a vengeance, definitely wanted it. But the fruits of it, it's, when you explain the fact that we're not all trying to be social media influencers. We're not going after like the entire world, and that it's to stay in front of your sphere and remind those individuals that you already know. That really kind of hit home to me, where it made it a lot easier to do video, because I looked at it as like, what's the videos and the things that I can help out the people that I know. And when you know that's your audience, you can be really genuine because you're trying to help them out through what we get to do, which is mortgage. And the fruits of it, you had asked, I picked up a new investor client from one of my videos. So definitely pumped for that. And with investor clients, it's one of many deals to come. So pretty pumped for that.
That's pretty cool. Steve and Bella were both team captains, and they led a team. And last week we met and we talked about what we learned as running and leading a team. I don't know who wants to start off or be able to talk about what was your greatest takeaways from leading that team. Which these originators, they're tough to lead. I mean, these are all good producing LOs because that's the atmosphere I like. And what'd you guys learn?
You can start, Steve.
My assessment was really honest. I got my team out of the blocks really slowly. I felt a little bit insecure, just to be totally. I mean, because I got some rock stars on my team that are ahead of me in the scorebook, and I felt a little intimidated to be, hey, I'm going to be the alpha in this room.
Even though Don said to the whole group, I believe in Steve and he's going to do great things, it still played with you, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And it got you off to a slow start, which then was hard to catch.
It was hard to catch up once we got out of the block slowly.
Yeah, cool. Bella, what'd you learn?
Mostly that it's harder than it looks, and that preparation goes a long, long ways. Like I have been coached by you, Chris, and by Brian for so long that it's so natural for you guys to just come in and to give such a great message. We walk out with pages of stuff. And for me, I only had to have my loan officers in an office for 30 minutes. And the prep work that it took to come in with like a meaningful 30 minutes where kind of along the lines of Steve, like I'm not the top producer at our bank. So you're coaching people that are better than you. So you have to bring some kind of value. And that's A, daunting, but B, you can't wing it. There's no way. Yeah. And just being ready for those meetings was a lot to work on.
I remember one time Rick said, Chris, you're not good enough to wing it, so quit winging it. And I was like, you could tell? And he goes, oh, I can tell. And so I was like, okay, I got caught, so now I got to change. And it's so cool that you two, because I wasn't in the meetings or anything, you two caught on to that, but then also felt this pressure, which means you cared. I want to talk about pre-quals, but I also want to talk about something that many of you guys get asked because we're different in that we do a casino report. And so I'll let you guys talk about the casino report and then talk about the love-hate thing that you have with the casino report. So Jeremy, why don't you set the stage, tell everybody what the casino report is, and then I'll let you start, and we'll go to Steve and then Bella.
So the casino report's going to be a daily update of everybody's production, everybody's locks, everybody's applications.
Just apps and locks, right?
Apps and locks, yeah. And what I love about it is I know where I'm at. What I hate about it is I know where I'm at. So like if it's 7:01 at night when it comes out, and like Pavla or whatever it is, I will open it up every time it comes out, and I will see where I'm at on the totem pole because I have that competitive background, and it forces you to be better. I mean, it's something where you can measure yourself on it, and it makes us better.
Someone asked me last week, why 7:01? And I go, I don't know. I think it's easy to remember versus 7 o'clock, but it naturally was going to be 7, and somehow the system can't do 7. It can do 7:01. So I would like to take really credit for 7:01, but it has nothing to do with that. I actually just wanted it at 7. Steve?
It's a new thing for me. I mean, I've never worked anywhere where that activity was tracked, number one, or published. Most places, I think, would be afraid to broadcast the results internally, and it'd be viewed as a negative. For me, seeing what Jeremy and Bella do doesn't serve as a motivation to me. I just view the casino report as that's my challenge to myself. I know where I'm at. Again, it's about having that weekly consistency that leads to having your month, your quarter, your year being consistent.
Yeah, I like that. Bella?
Kind of along the same lines. It's a love-hate relationship because I have the competitive nature. So there's always one loan officer above me that I'm like, okay, I'm chasing that volume right there kind of thing. But it also—
Who are you chasing right now, by the way?
Kuiper. Kuiper's my next one.
Yep. AK Kuiper. All right, cool.
I'm going for number 5 right now. So
I love this.
Yes.
Okay.
But I watch those numbers. It is the one email that I open every time that I get it. So it definitely does something for you, whether it's the psyche or not. But it pits you up against other people, and sometimes you can pick out the trends too. So like this week is a holiday week, so it's short. So you'll be able to see different trends in it. Like, did we get a lot off of the long weekend, or did we get very little? And I kind of use it as a little bit of a safety blanket. Like if I feel like I'm down this week, I didn't get as many apps, I didn't put as many locks in, I see if it was kind of the same trend for everyone else. And if it wasn't, then I know I did something wrong. But if it is, then I know, okay, something's similar in the market that we're all feeling the same thing. So it's just more data. But
yeah, I never even thought about following trends. I think that's a good perspective. For me, I just don't want a loan officer left behind. And I feel like so many companies let loan officers left behind. Like they'll see a month go by and they closed a loan or whatever, and then they see a second month by. Like it could be 90 days, and then someone catches, hey, I got a loan officer that needs help. And with the casino report, you could know it in a weekly basis, follow the trend to week, and in 2 weeks, you know right where that LO is at. I always say, look, if they got a lot of apps and no locks, they're not converting. If you got a lot of locks and no apps, you're not getting new business. And if you don't got something in either category, then let's get in there and get it fixed. And then that way no one gets left behind. That's why I love it. But it has been something that I feel like I've watched a lot of companies try to implement and put into place. And what would you say, what one of you can answer this question, but what would you say to an owner or a sales manager to encourage them to put in the casino report?
I think it's a added level of commitment. We all kind of have our expectations. Like Steve said earlier, he wants to close 8 to 10 loans a month. Well, he knows exactly how many apps he needs and exactly how many locks he needs each week to make sure that those statistics happen. And we always say, don't focus on like the numbers this week because or don't focus on the end goal. Like one way or the other, you get stuck in either things too small or too big. But I think the weekly breakdown will keep you focused so that the numbers make sense at the end.
Yeah. Pre-quals. What are you guys doing to keep your pre-quals engaged? I know we talked about it in coaching today about, got a lot of contingencies. We got some just looking. What are you guys doing to convert the pre-quals? Because I think that's a big bucket that there's some money in there for originators to be able to get more originations if they work the pre-quals right. What suggestions do you have to the group? Who wants to go?
I love you talked about this sometime last year, assigning the new pre-qual homework. That's been one piece that I've implemented that I feel is like been a great thing for me to add in. So I'm the old guy in the room, and that's a new trick that I learned from you, Chris, about how to create that engagement. And it's what I love to see is when it's also when it inspires their agent. When I feel like I have the borrower and the agent both engaged, then it's like, okay, this one's going to go somewhere.
Yeah. Cool. Bella?
One tactic that our team uses, because there's more than one loan officer on my team, when we have someone go under contract and they're contingent on sale, well, that house that is the contingency holding everything up gets fired off to every pre-qual that we have that they qualify to buy it.
So you're sharing the listing.
Right. Yep. We're like, hey, thought of you when we saw this house, so that it sounds personal to those pre-quals,
Yep.
but it's also driving activity to clients we already have under contract. They just have to sell. So that's one huge thing, because it's a double whammy. And then also a new thing I just started, I'm on like week 3 of doing it, but I do a Friday featured home of the week. And first time that I did it,
You pick a house?
Yeah, I pick a house. And it gets me a conversation with an agent, because I call and I say, hey, is it okay that I take your listing photos? I'm going to feature your home on my Facebook page. And every time there's like, yes, 100%. We'd love that, because you're driving more people to their house. So it gets me realtor engagement. Then B, if I'm going to work that open house, now it's a shout out like, hey, come see me. Even if this isn't perfect house for you, like I'd love to have our conversation, or we can talk what you like in this house so we can look for something else. Or the third is it's just out there. And last week I used one of mine that's contingent on sale. Like, again, I'm just pushing it out so that more people can see it, because who knows if a friend of a friend of a friend sees it and they just hadn't been looking before, but now it's the perfect house for them.
I love that idea. That's super cool. Jeremy?
So number one, if you're like me in the past and you're not calling them because you feel like you did your job, you should call. I'll start with that.
Okay.
Number 2, we implemented, so we're credit's good for 120 days. So we call them 4 times the first month, but then we do monthly calls, and we really stay engaged with them. And one of the things that, was a byproduct of actually calling your pre-quals is, number 1, you're going to convert more because you're answering their questions, you're staying top of mind, you're doing everything. But number 2, it helped me with the weekend pre-quals, because I'm the one that's staying on top of it, and I'm the one that knows that, hey, you're about to expire. Therefore, we start renewing everything very accurately, instead of being on a Saturday where you're typing and doing everything and guessing and trying to get them the house of their dreams. By explaining those things of, hey, your pre-qualification is expiring. Are you still active? What can we help you with? Okay, like, we'd like to get you re-qualified. And then you start that when you have a full staff, you have underwriters, it's Monday through Friday, and you explain that to them like, hey, like, market's a little different, but still, if there's a nice house that comes up, it seems like around our area, there's still 4 people that want to buy it. And if that seller's agent calls, I want to tell them, I've done my homework, we've updated everything, you can confidently accept our offer. And that happens by being on top of it.
That's great. That's great. Guys, thanks for being on Coaching with Chris. Thanks for the tactics and the tips. You guys all gave some great value. I mean, all we got to do is do a few of these things that'll change our business. I appreciate you. I'm proud of each one of you. And go have a great week.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.